Hi again, everyone. I'm Adam Kassab here at GLOBIS. Welcome to Inside Japan. Today, Satoshi Kuroda is with us from SAINT-GOBAIN. He's the general manager of Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, and I think focusing on Abrasives division, the abrasive unit. Thanks very much for coming, Satoshi. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Let's jump straight into the questions, Satoshi. Can you tell us just a bit about your job? What does it mean to be the kind of abrasives division at SAINT-GOBAIN?
Okay. So SAINT-GOBAIN is, I would say, is an old lady. It's a French old lady. It's a 350 years old company that has been created under Louis XVI kings. And the main business where it started is from glass. So basically, at the time in 1650 something, the glass was basically manufactured in Italy. They didn't know how to do flat glass. So if you go in a very old building, you can see that the glass is a little bit waving.
Yeah.
And Saint-Gobain was the first basically company, the first group of people who started to make flat glass. So perfectly flat glass. And so 350 years of history in glass. Then it has moved in different, basically, industry, different business with glass as a core. So my division is abrasive. So it was created with an acquisition of an American company, Norton, which is as well 150 years kids. And they were at that time the #1 in abrasive. So abrasive means anything you use to cut, to grind, and to polish. So anything that is made by the man is sometimes cut, grinded, or polished in the process. So it goes from, I would say, the simple sandpaper that you use in your home to repair your chair, to the car industry, where we need very precise tooling to grind the camshaft, for example,
right,
for engine parts.
Right.
Or, for example, in the mobile, you have of course iPhone, and in iPhone you need a chip, and the chip has been basically cut and grind sometime in the process.
Right.
So it goes everywhere in any industry, from electronics, automotive, to wood, to a shipyard, to everywhere,
Right.
basically.
Yeah, I mean, even in the chairs we're sitting in and the wood covering here.
Correct.
Yeah, fantastic. And you cover Japan, Korea, and Taiwan. That's,
yes,
yeah.
It's basically what we call Develop Asia inside the group. Why Develop Asia? Because the industrialization is kind of similar if you compare in the Asia level compared to China or to Southeast Asia. That means that the industry or the type of tool they're using are kind of similar. So it's why I'm covering what we call Develop Asia.
And Satoshi, it's so interesting meeting you because you have a Japanese name, Satoshi Kuroda,
yeah,
but you're speaking English with quite a French accent.
Yeah.
So, can you just say a bit about your background?
Yeah, my previous boss used to tell me that I had a French hardware. I was a Japanese hardware with the French software, basically. So my both parents are Japanese. They immigrated to France in 1960, so about 50 years ago. My father was a physicist, so he did his doctorate in France, and then he decided to stay in France. So as a result, me and my brother and sister, we were born in France. We've been raised in France and in Switzerland because we moved to Switzerland after. Then I decided to come back to Japan because at the end of the day, as you say, I have the hardware of a Japanese and name of Japanese, but I didn't have much experience in Japan, so I wanted to come back to kind of have a real experience in Japan, and that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. And I think you learned Japanese when you were in Switzerland.
Actually, we lived in Geneva, so there's a quite large Japanese community with the United Nations, the different international organizations. So I've been to the public French and Swiss school, but then during the weekend I was going to the Japanese school to kind of learn the Japanese, which I hated at the time when I was a kid, because I was not able to play with my friends. But as a result, basically, I speak not a very good Japanese, but I still speak Japanese. And I decided again to come back about 10 years ago now. So initially, I wanted to come back for 2 years.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I started to feel more and more at ease. And it's indeed an interesting experience that I have in Japan. So it's
10 years passed, yeah.
Yeah, 10 years is very fast.
So, I mean, in a way, coming back to Japan is like coming back to your roots, right? So,
kind of, yeah.
But I mean, did anything surprise you when you sort of moved back here?
I mean, after 10 years, not that much anymore. And in addition, because I'm Japanese culture, so
right.
There are a lot of things I'm not surprised of. But what I find it always amazing in Japan is really the professionalism or the meticulousness to basically serve others people. I mean,
right.
Can be a customer, but can be as well vis-a-vis of your family member or etc. So really very, very professional, very meticulous, very taken care of. And this level, I travel a little bit, but I find it very, very high compared to other countries.
Yeah. So something you love, something maybe you don't like so much about here, yeah.
So what I love in Japan is that everything works well. Everything works well. It's a kind of very sophisticated. I mean, not sophisticated, but very well-working society. It's very peaceful. It's very clean. So it's very nice. The other side of the coin is that I think it's a very system. Culture. That means there's a system, and for people, when it's out of the system, it's a little bit more difficult to handle it. So it's create much more difficulty to handle out of what they used to, out of what that the system is to handle this type of case.
So there's like a process, and as long as you follow the process, everything's fine.
Correct.
But if you step out, then
correct.
Yeah, I see.
So this is the part where I mean, for example, when you go to the administration, sometimes it's a little bit difficult when you don't have the proper paper. Also, I'm from Switzerland, where it's as well a little bit like this. I think in Japan is very much it's much more than in Switzerland.
I was told in Switzerland there's like days when you can and cannot hang your washing out on a balcony.
Oh
and
yeah,
things
it's
like
normal.
That. It's normal.
This is normal. Yeah. I think it's as well because you don't want for people who look at your apartment from outside, seeing a very dirty apartment with all the clothes hanging. No, but it's Switzerland. I mean, for example, you have as well to separate your garbage. So since many years. It was the case. It's true that for French people, when they come to Switzerland, they find it as well a bit oppressive because they think there's too many rules. But once you're used to it, it's as well very nice. You have the other side of the coin that at least you don't have surprise. It's working, and etc. So it's.
Let's move on now. How about in terms of doing business in Japan or Japan, Korea, Taiwan? What sort of challenges do you face doing that sort of business?
Okay, I mean I would talk more about Japan because I think that the mechanism or the way we do business in Japan or Korea, Taiwan are quite different. I think Japan is very particular. The challenge I would see for Japan is that Japan is it is a very mature country. So it's not like I would say China, where everything is basically to be built, or it's being built now. It's built very fast. So to come to Japan as a new entrant, this is a very difficult market. It's a very difficult because it's already mature market. That means in terms of reward is very high because we are talking big market, we are talking about sophisticated market where people value basically the innovation, which is what usually Western company like to bring. So in this sense, it's match basically what Western company wants to bring in the market. On the other hand, it's a mature market, so it takes a lot of time to go in this market, particularly when we're talking about industrial market, where Japan is very strong in industry and in automotive, in electronic, etc. So to get in, it's difficult, but again, it's very rewarding because the customer value innovation.
I see. Yeah, interesting. Thank you. Just moving on, a bit of a jump of a question. What are you passionate about? What keeps you sort of fired up in your work or in your sort of private life? Or?
In my work, I think what is for me interesting is really to try to build something in Japan, which is a country where basically my original roots were, but I never been basically educated in Japan. So trying to build something for foreign company for me is very rewarding, because there's a lot of I think there's a lot of need to bridge basically what a foreign company can bring to the Japanese market if I can help to do this bridging. So one is to build something. The second for me is, of course, you cannot build something by yourself. So to build a team is for me is very rewarding. This is for me the most challenging, and it is even more challenging with, I would say, Japanese people where I understand the culture, but at the same time I understand as well the French culture and the expectation of the head office is a little bit different of what the Japanese team can deliver, and to bridge properly this gap so that we can build something. This is the part which for me is.
Can you give an example of that different expectations between? When you say head office, that's in France, right?
Yeah, France or in US, because it's, I mean, there are some markets, for example, we have, in my company we have very good technology, and the technology, we have good technology because, and technology that we cannot find in Japan. But again, because the market is very mature, they already have a certain process, a certain technology. Yeah. Now, even if your technology can be probably theoretically superior to the one that is already existing in Japan, to be able to integrate this in the system, it takes a lot of time. That means there are different stakeholders, not only the operator who is doing the job, there are as well the distributor who is making his living on selling the product. There's as well of course, your competitors, as well the customer who have to produce with certain constraints. So it's not because you have of course you need to have the best product basis, but you need to have the best product, plus you need to adapt your best product to the Japanese market so that you can get in. And this is something that I think sometimes for foreign companies it's difficult to assimilate to understand, because either they go in a developing market where there's no technology, so it's very easy to impose the technology, like in China or developing, or they're in their home market where they know exactly the customer needs, so they can adapt very quickly and they understand that. When they come to Japan, we often hear, Japanese customers are too demanding. Yes, they're demanding because there's a reason behind it, and sometimes we have difficulty to adapt to the demanding, which can be, of course, quality, service in terms of lead time, but it can be as well a smaller batch size. It can be the servicing that we need to do on a weekly basis, etc. So there are different level of things that Japanese customer expect, and they find it normal in the Japanese market. But for foreign companies, it's difficult to sometimes match it and adapt. And
you can help as acting like a bridge to sort of make that connection.
We can, and I think it's a little bit of both. We need as well. I mean, there is some time as well where we're able to convince customers that there is a benefit to change a little bit the process, a little bit benefits to have a larger batch size, of course, extra size. But it's it's important to have someone local to understand the two aspects and try to bridge it, basically.
Thank you. How about Japanese historical figures or cultural figures, or somebody that you admire about in Japan? Yeah.
I mean, I will say that what I find it extraordinary in Japan is basically the generation of my parents, because not that far long ago, 70, 80 years ago, Japan came out of the war, and it was basically ground zero, but ground zero on a country level, not on a city level. So, and I find it amazing how in a span of 20, 30, 40 years, they were able to bring the country at this level of sophistication. Yeah. It's and this is something that I think we start to forget little by little, because the generation of our parents are basically disappearing. Naturally disappearing, so we don't hear it very much. But it is something. I think it's amazing how one generation can make a difference in the living of many people. So this is something that in Japan, I think it is something that I'm the most amazed by.
And Satoshi, you said you have the Japanese hardwire part.
Yeah.
And maybe the French software part, right? Do you think you have that value or that kind of hard work ethic from your parents? Do you have that?
Yeah, I think it's ingrained. Yeah. I think it's ingrained. It's ingrained. I keep a little bit of my French software by taking 3 weeks of vacation during the summer. So this is something which I will not, which is basically non-negotiable. But it's true that I think that it's it is. For me, it's important to have professionalism in what we're doing. Of course, it's sacrifice, but it's a lot of reward. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we're doing things for a purpose, so it's important.
Now, Satoshi, I know we were talking earlier. You said you spent some time in Africa as well, and also Manila in the Philippines. Yes. So plus France, and now Japan. So. Yeah. And Switzerland. I don't know if you could combine elements to make a kind of super culture. What would you pick and choose?
I've been in Africa. I've been based in Kenya for a couple of years, in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, and in Philippines, Manila for a couple of years, and then Japan. I would say, from the French people. From the French culture, I think that what is amazing is the individual creativity of people. I think that you have people who are very creative, and they have the individual strength to bring it out, and it's why you have, I think, a lot of good things which came from France in different aspects, in mathematics, or in physics, or in art, or etc. So the individual creativity, I think, is amazing in France. From Japan, I think that it's really the capability. The professionalism, what I was discussing before. Professionalism, this consciousness of trying to do something well, and this is at all levels. This is what is amazing, I think, in Japan. It's not only at the management level, or the staff level. It's as well at the operator level. I think at all levels, people pride themselves to do their job, and this is something which is for me is very good. From Africa, I would say it's. I think they have this joy to live. They can live with what they have, and it is something which is. Myself, I forget it. We are in the material world. And it's true that, when I was in Africa, I had a driver. And when I left Africa, I was leaving, he brought me to his home. And I saw it for the first time, the condition he was living. And he was every day he was very nice, very serving me, etc. And I realized, okay, it's they have as well this culture of enjoying life, which is outside of the material, which I think is very valuable, and sometimes we forgot. Philippines, I would say, again, I mean, they have, they're always smiling. This is the part which, so anything which is, I mean, they had a couple of months ago, earthquake around the Cebu, the typhoon, but the couple of Filipino friends that I know are always smiling, seeing the good side. So this is something which is as well amazing. So a little bit of everything. I think in agriculture, of course, you always have a good part, less good part, but yeah, this is.
Very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. Very last question. Final message for our viewers.
Final, okay. Again, for me, I came back to Japan first 2 years. I was thinking to come back only for 2 years, just to have an experience in Japan. I find that I'm here since 10 years. For me, Japan is an amazing country. It's very difficult, I think. We shouldn't underestimate what is Japan. But again, the level of sophistication is very high. If people make the effort really to try to understand how business is done in Japan, and it is again quite different of the way we do business in Western countries. I think that is very rewarding because it is an economy that basically is based on innovation, is based on professionalism, and these are basically I think the way we're moving. So it is for me a very rewarding country, but the effort is a little bit high.
Wonderful. Satoshi Kuroda, thank you so much. Thanks for coming in, and thanks for sharing your ideas and insights. Very, very interesting listening to Satoshi, and it's also nice to have a reminder that, you know, we're a business school and we're always looking at growth and how to build businesses and restructure companies for greater profitability and so on. But it's very nice to have this reminder from Satoshi that it's not just about material things, that, you know, it's also about appreciating what we have and kind of other things in life. So thanks very much for that reminder, Satoshi. This is the 20th episode of Inside Japan. Catch you later.